Hi there, I'm Justin Pritchard here with the new Hyundai Accent, then a little demonstration to kick us off. Now this is a piece of regular steel. I'm going to put it on here and apply something like 210 pounds. Look at that sucker bend. This is a piece of advanced high strength steel, same test, same 210 pounds, a lot less deflection, and actually comes right back to its original shape. So you can see the difference here. And Hyundai builds this AHSS in their very own steel factories, which makes it easier and cheaper for them to build cars using lots of this stuff. And since it's so strong, they can use less of it to make parts and pieces of the vehicle structure. Now, mainly when you use a lot of this advanced high-strength steel, you simultaneously make parts that are stronger and more rigid, but also smaller and lighter. Now, for this all-new Accent, they've bumped the use of AHSS up by 13%, helping to make the car 32% more rigid, not to mention bigger than its predecessor and only 22 pounds heavier. Primitive demonstration, but the benefits of the high-tech deployment of high-strength steel throughout this car are numerous. More on those soon. What you need to know right now, well, at writing, this is the most fresh and modern small car on the scene, and one that appeals for plenty of space, feature content, and value, and should probably be on your radar. You pick a 4-door sedan like this Tester or a 5-door hatch. Then you pick the trim grade you like maybe the high-value GLS like this Tester, which provides everything you need equipment-wise while keeping the price highly reasonable. You'll notice the looks. Shoppers are demanding better small cars with no compromise, and this time around, Accent looks edgy, bold, blocky, and incorporates numerous design touches you'll see in Hyundai's bigger cars. Many small cars look only slightly more menacing than a pink frosted cupcake, but from some angles, this one looks like a shrunken down Sonata, and that's not a bad thing. So it's a looker that's lighter than it looks, despite being about as rigid as a Russian icebreaker. Having such a strong structure means the car can be safer. Also, it allows the engineers to more finely tune the suspension that it rides on. That brings us to one of Accent's strongest assets, the way it tackles rough roads. Here, Accent feels like a bigger, pricier car than you probably think, and from the driver's seat, the sensation is dense, durable, and robust. Though rougher surfaces can coax plenty of noise and some harshness from the suspension, you never feel like anything is taking a beating or falling apart. It's sturdy and solid through and through. Ride quality? Good, in a word. A little stiffer and more athletic than I expected. Pleasantly surprising if you like a slightly sporty feel, though if you're after all-out comfort, I'd advise you look for a unit with smaller wheels and bigger, thicker tires. Visit a rough road in your Accent on a test drive too, confirming your acceptance of the ride quality in the specific model you're considering. Mine at times got pretty noisy and choppy on lousy roads, even despite feeling so durable. Steering is light and lazy at low speeds, making Accent a breeze to maneuver around tight quarters while parking or navigating city traffic. At higher speeds, I wish the steering was a little heavier and more precise, which would help the car stay locked into place within its lane more easily. No complaints from the brakes, good strong bite from the get-go, smooth ABS action, and with proper winter tires, quick and drama-free stops even on greasy surfaces, with plenty of confidence imparted when you need to be stationary fast. Getting you back up to speed is this revised 1.6-liter 4-cylinder with a good-for-its-size 132 horsepower. Revisions have focused on making more of that power more accessible more of the time. It's worked. You need less throttle and revs in traffic to move the Accent along. Performance is relatively peppy, but the engine sounds fairly unimpressed by being worked hard. It performs well and pretty quietly when you drive it gently, and actually, I had to be careful with my speed several times on the highway. This little thing can sneak past the limit with ease if you're not careful. Interior noise levels are one reason why. This car is quiet by small car standards, thanks in no small part to that rigid structure, once again, which helps keep noise levels down. Even at a decent highway clip, there's little need to raise your voice for a conversation. Quiet cabin and bigger than you think, too. 4 adults can fit with relative comfort, rear seat headroom is decent, legroom even more so, and the rear floor reduces crowding of occupant feet because it's flat. Behind all of that, a good trunk, deep, wide, fairly generous room, and even more of it when you fold the seats down. No issues to take a weekend road trip with 4 average-sized adults and some gear. Up front, even 2 larger occupants will have adequate room or better, as well as plenty of nearby storage facilities for smaller items. There are charge points and proper cup holders and a proper armrest, which is great if you have arms, which probably you do. So here's a small car that's more comfortable and quiet than you think, one that feels roomier than you think, and one that looks pretty darn good doing it. Feature content galore too. The tester included things like a heated steering wheel with high-grade leather, automatic climate control, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay, which are must-have features for anyone with a smartphone, a good backup camera, a sunroof, and push-button start with keyless access. There are even heated seats front and back, which will make your carpool friends like you more. Final notes, headlights are on par with any of the best setups I've used in a car at this price range. That was a big gripe of mine from the last generation Accent that's been fixed here. And finally, I will note that when it's all nippy outside, she heats up faster than expected, and the seat heaters and heated steering wheel are very powerful. Gripes, some may wish for a more rich and upscale materials palette in the cabin. It's dark and bland in here, color-wise. Further, though it's so smooth you can hardly tell, the 6-speed automatic spends an awful lot of time toggling between 5th and 6th gear on the highway. End of the day, and once again, here's a top test drive candidate in a small car that thinks big when it comes to space, feeling durable and solid on real-world roads, and especially when it comes to styling and feature content bang for the buck. Thanks for watching.